Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Puriya, and in this video I'm gonna show you how we can deploy Cisco examples using Inmanta. I have already opened the Cisco folder through my VS Code, as you can see here. The next step would be to create a new environment. If you remember, we had done the same thing for Juniper and Nokia. Now we need to do the same for Cisco. So let's head to the web console first. Create a new environment. The project is examples. Name is Cisco. Submit. Let's go inside of it, settings. And we need this environment ID later on. Alright, next, we have to download the Cisco modules. How do we do that? If you remember, we have to alter this project.yaml file here. Alright, let me quickly grab my token. Paste it in, save. And inside this main.cf file, we are just importing the Cisco XR module. So let's go to my terminal and install the project. I have already activated my development environment. Now we need to say Inmanta project install, and if we go back to the VS Code, we should see the libs folder being populated, and that is the case. Next, we will head to the interface example and borrow the things that we require. We already have the module here, so we don't need that part. Let's grab the rest. I'll get all of this all the way to here. Copy, paste them in. The IP address and username and password are a little bit different in my case. So let me quickly change those. I'm gonna put this as router 1. The IP is gonna be 192.168.10.112. Port is 22. Username and password are going to be CLAB and CLAB123. I don't need this part. Let's remove it all. We'll say this is in interface 1. Okay. Let's go with a funny looking IP address. 1.2.3.4. Save it. Now let's go to the terminal and export this to the server. And before that, let me grab my environment ID. Now let's go to the terminal, export. This is gonna be this. Now let's go to the web console, resources, and we see deployment is in progress. This is the first time I'm pushing configuration on Cisco, so it's gonna take a while. I'm gonna pause the video and get back to you when it's done. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to the router and check the configuration. For that, we say SSH CLAB at 192.168.110.112. Sorry, 10.12. Okay, show IP interface brief. And this is our IP address. Next, we will configure multi-protocol BGP on our router 1 and router 2. So let's go to my VS Code. Now, if we head to the BGP multi-protocol, we should get our BGP configuration from there. So I'm gonna come here and grab all of this. Let's copy everything here. Go back, paste it in. There is a difference. If you notice in the BGP multi-protocol file, we are importing Cisco XR as an alias, but in the main file, we are just importing Cisco XR normally. So let's quickly fix that as well. I'm gonna grab this here and replace it with Cisco XR. Here we go. Now let's go through the configuration together and fix the things we need to fix. First of all, we need to no-shot the interface that we are dealing with. So I'm gonna turn this to false. And also, since we are gonna have another router, I'm gonna change or feed these values directly to the device. This is gonna be router 1. The management IP is 192.168.10.112. The port is 22. The username and password are gonna be CLAB 3. The rest is fine. So I'm gonna get rid of all of this here. Good. What else do we have? Okay, the interface part is okay. How about the BGP part? Good. We are using AS number 65,000, which is good. Router ID is fine. We need to use this interface as the update source. So I'm gonna grab it from here. I could also reference it like interface 1 dot interface name. It doesn't really matter. For router 2, let's go like that. So replace this. Our remote AS, let's go with 64,000. And neighbor IP address, let's go with 1.2.3.5. And let's say router 2. Okay. Now I need all of this again for our router 2. So let me grab everything here, copy, paste. Let's give it some space. Now let's get to work and change the values. So this is gonna be router 2. IP address is 114. Interface 2. Router 2. The IP would be 5. BGP 2, router 2. For this, let's go with the example that I was explaining earlier. So interface 2 dot interface name, referring to, if we come here, interface 2, interface name, which ultimately results in gigabit Ethernet 0. All right, let's go back. Okay. $65,000. This should be 64,000. Now if we go back to the terminal, we should be able to export this to the server. Let's quickly do that. Main, okay. Interface 2 not found. Line 184. Let's quickly check it. Neighbor groups 2. Okay. Interface also. Interface 2. Okay. Perfect. And thank you, compiler, for warning me. Now if we go back to the web console, we can see the resources are being deployed. This is gonna take some time, and when it's done, I'm gonna get back and we will continue from there. Okay, the deployment is done. Now, how about we jump back to our routers and check the configuration there. Let's go to my router. Let's do show run first. Show run. So this is our interface, and this is our BGP configuration, as we can see here. Let's also check BGP status. Show BGP neighbor brief, and this is our router 2, and the state is established. Let's also quickly check router 2. Show run. Our interface configuration here, and the BGP configuration all the way here. Show BGP neighbor brief. Very well. If you have been following along with this video series, in the previous video you have seen how we used Inmanta's language to tackle all the duplication that we have in our models. Again, if we take a quick look through the configuration that we introduced, you could see almost 90% of this code here is a duplicate, and it also led me to have a copy pasting error, which we obviously try to avoid at all costs. Anyway, for this video we just decided to go ahead and show you the flat model, but if you're interested to go ahead and transform it to an optimized model, please let us know in the comment section, and we are going to make sure to make a video about that too. I would like to thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.